ball. So.
Another well-hit ball by Frye, turning on that, and that ball is gone. A home run. How about that, Jeff Frye?
Memorable ball game. 192 wins, tied for the franchise all-time lead with Cy Young.
Well, you know, Jeff Frye now has faced Clemens 5 times in his career, and he has 4 hits off Roger.
First one. Chico.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesdays with Leroy. I am your host, Chris Vitali, and I am here and honored to be with one of our buddies, Jeff Frye, leader of the Shigon movement. How's it going, brother?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Let me let you speak a little bit about what Shigon is. Go ahead.
Well, it's just, I just think there's so many things wrong with baseball right now, from the youth levels to kids. I mean, kids being taught a bunch of nonsense, all based on what is happening in the major leagues. So in the major leagues, they're talking about launch angle and exit velocity and hitting the ball in the air. So now all the hitting experts, or so-called hitting experts, are trying to pass this along to the kids so they learn how to hit like major leaguers do, which none of these kids are ever going to have a chance to be major leaguers if they don't learn how the basic fundamentals in the first place. And that's kind of, that's one part of Shigon. The other part is about so many great baseball people that are being eliminated from the game, pushed aside for unqualified, in my opinion, unqualified people that have no history or playing background in the game. And these great baseball men that have a lifetime spent watching the game and learning the game are being pushed aside because of data and stats and analytics. And also the college, what's going on in high school and college, kids committing to colleges before they can even sign a letter of intent. And these commitments mean nothing except that no other schools are going to recruit them. Yeah. And then, finally what's happening in the major leagues as far as the entertainment value of the game has gone away. The strategy has been being eliminated, and the game's being played on a computer. And so that's basically the premise of Shigon.
Well, I mean, it's a noble cause. And I mean, now you're looking at, so Theo Epstein this week just signed on as a consultant with Manfred. So what do you think about that? I mean, like, on his way out of Chicago, he did say, is like, look, something has to happen. I mean, basically he kind of learned the error of his ways, that, maybe all this 3 true outcome crap is not, it's a detriment to the game, and it's not entertaining, and it's not bringing new fans in. The only fans that are really enjoying this are like the guys who sit there in front of a computer running spreadsheets. Now, what do you think about Epstein coming in and probably is the heir apparent to Manfred as hopefully the next commissioner? And can baseball come back from where it is now? These guys, what do you think?
I think it can. And I think it has to. I don't think it's an option. I think that if it doesn't, then the fans are just going to go away eventually. And I think what Theo said when he left Chicago was that he was part of the problem. Yeah. And that he sees now that there's problems in the game that people don't want to watch because it's boring to watch.
It is.
People who've been watching this game their whole life all of a sudden don't want to watch it. Well, that should raise a red flag that something's wrong. And I think when he came out and admitted that, and when he stepped down from the Cubs, and now the fact that he is working as an assistant to Rob Manfred, and hopefully the heir apparent, because we all know that Rob Manfred needs to be ousted for all the mistakes he's made. And I think that it's a step in the right direction, for sure.
Well, now, again, we know Theo is the curse breaker. Can he break the curse of that baseball has put on itself. I think that's really the question. And so, I mean, we still don't know if a DH is happening in universal DH. What do you think about that? I really wanted to ask you about that. I mean, I think, I personally like it. I think the universal DH, it'll extend guys' careers. I think guys like Nelson Cruz are sitting around waiting to find out. What do you think about the universal DH? And is that the only rule that Rob Manfred might have gotten correct?
I mean, I like the difference in the American League and National League. I'll be honest. I do like that subtlety. It just creates more strategy when an American League team plays a National League team in a National League ballpark. They have to adhere to the National League rules. So I like that gamesmanship part of it. I know as far as probably the Players Association having 15 more positions for designated hitters, which are one of the traditionally one of the higher paying positions on a team, is probably better for the players. Hitters. I mean, some pitchers. Let's be honest. Nobody really wants to see pitchers hit. I mean, there's a few guys out there,
Aaron, man.
There's a few guys that we want to watch Mad Bum hit. We want to watch, Zach Greinke hit. A few guys. Kershaw is not bad, but for the most part, those guys don't even practice hitting anymore. So we really don't want to watch them. But I do. I can't just totally sell out and say I like the DH in both leagues, because I do like the difference in the two leagues.
All right, that's fair, man. That's not an answer I expected, so that's awesome. I mean, as a guy who is a hitter, and like we were speaking about before, you split time in 2000 between Boston and Colorado, and you hit 356 in Colorado. And I would like you to explain to some people. Everyone thinks about the Coors effect. You're not a launch angle guy. You're not a home run hitter. How did you hit 356? Let people know what the damn Coors effect is, please.
Well, for me, it was the size of the field. So, and I know all they talk about is elevation and how the ball definitely does go farther. I mean, it's just science.
Yeah.
Your elevation, there's going to be less resistance, and the ball's going to go farther. But what you don't understand is that the ball looks different to you as a hitter. Even playing catch, the ball looked different to me.
Really?
It traveled different. It took a while to get used to.
Really?
Yeah. But for me, the reason I felt like I hit so well in Colorado was because the size of the field. If you look at Coors Field and you look in the outfield, there's 3 guys out there, and it looks like there's about 10 acres of acreage in the outfield. So there's just so much room for more hits. These guys just can't possibly cover the entire field. And I mean, it wasn't like I was hitting them out of the parks. I was just hitting them in the holes. So
hit them where they ain't, bro.
Hit them where they ain't, buddy.
So, speaking about hitting them where they ain't, I want to talk a little bit about these guys who are using hula hoops and PVC pipes and trying to hit them where they ain't, and they're ripping parents off. And you've been a crusader against this, and we're here with you to get this out there. What the hell is going on with these guys? These gurus, they're literally scammers. I mean, like, I might as well answer hey, hi, I'm a Nigerian prince that, we have much money for you. Please send me $2,000. What the hell is the difference between that and what Perfect Game is doing, or what these gurus are doing? Please explain, and the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the gurus that we find on social media, I think it's they found a niche, man. They found a space that, unfortunately, for parents, there's not a place that they can just go and type in on their Google, quality hitting coach, whatever. So they go on social media. They go on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, to try and type in, hitting, and they find these people, and they see that they have all these followers. They are teaching so many of these players at all these different things, and they think, oh, well, this must be good. This must be good. I don't blame the fact that they don't know on them, because it's out there. Okay. What I do blame the fact is that they're not researching it, and they're just going to Joe Blow, who's got a facility down the road, and whatever he's teaching these kids, because the parking lot's full of cars, must be good. And I think down the road they're going to find out that.
That's funny, man. I'm sorry.
I mean, what do we spend all this money on? Our son or daughter is terrible.
Yeah.
They don't know how to hit because these guys are creating this narrative that now they have discovered the new way to hit in baseball, which after 150 years of the game, now it's all changed.
Yeah.
All the other stuff doesn't work. Now we have all these computers and all these sensors, and now we have the new way to do it. If you don't do it this way, you won't be able to play.
So where do you think, like, when did this happen? Because I mean, when I was a kid, like I said, we paid maybe 40, 50 bucks to play Little League, and, and that was it. I mean, I think you even, I sent you like a video of me. I tried the Rod Carew stance, and I was just whacking shit the other way because that's how you hit. That's just how you hit. You're comfortable, and that's how you hit. What these guys are teaching, I don't know how guys aren't breaking hips, or like 12-year-old kids aren't breaking hips. What is this? What the hell is this? Are we playing golf? What is this?
Supinate. You got supinate, and it's all their big phrase is feel versus real.
Yeah, I know. What is this? I mean,
Real versus real. So okay, so I don't care that you played in the big leagues and you were successful with your approach and your mindset and what you did at the plate, right? What you actually did is different than what you think you did. So now we're going to teach kids to do what you actually did, because you really don't know what you did. And what you actually did, we can find on this video, and we're going to teach all these kids to hit this way, because this is what you actually did. And the biggest farce of the whole deal is that we're not all the same, okay? The guys who play professional sports have some very special things that most people don't have. And they have a certain level of confidence, talent, timing, vision, it's all a combination of everything.
Absolutely.
And that's why those guys were the best of the best. You can't just emulate what that guy did and be as good as him. I couldn't emulate Nomar and be Nomar, because he's Nomar, or Mo Vaughn, or Todd Helton. I couldn't just.
I love Mo Vaughn, by the way. I'm sorry. I love Mo Vaughn, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's like I wish I could. I wish it was that easy. So if me being a former professional athlete can't do it, right? I can't hit like Nomar. What makes you think that your 13-year-old son can hit like Barry Bonds?
Well, exactly. And here's the thing. It's not that. Tony Gwynn didn't hit like Ted Williams. All right, maybe he did, ish. But then, DJ LeMahieu doesn't hit like Tony Gwynn. These guys hit. It's just what they do. These guys know how to go about it. And exactly like you said, Rod Carew. These guys that hit, they all had their own way of looking at it. So what I want to ask you, what these guys are doing, and I keep doing this because that's what it looks like these guys are trying to teach. What the hell happened to top hand hitting?
It's gone now. You got to hit like this.
What about the top hand?
Palm up. Now it's like, I was always taught to hit like this.
Yes, the top
right
hand.
But now apparently you have to hit, because they slow down the video so much that actually it's like this now. And your palm has to be like this.
That doesn't make any sense to me. And I never played at your level, but still, the top hand is the important hand when you're hitting, and that's how that's how you control your bat, man.
No, man, it's changed. It's changed, and adapt or die.
Just
adapt or die, dude.
Is that what I'm paying for? Is that what I'm paying for? I just cool. I'll hit pop-ups. Jesus Christ! I'll use my stand wedge, for the love of God. Get out! Come on. So what can be done? How do we get kids to realize, you know what? Yeah, chicks dig the long ball. Remember that commercial with Maddox and Glavine and Heather Locklear?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they dig the long ball, but if that's all it is, if that's what we're looking at now, and that's why I love a guy like DJ LeMay. I mean, he can hit. He could play in any era. You could throw DJ LeMay in 1943 to me, and he would hit 350. How do we get that back into the game? Like, what do we do to get rid of this and more back into just, the top hand?
Well, I think we're on our way, man. I really do. I think that we need more ex-players to speak out about it, and they're starting to. And when I started doing it, it was just kind of an accidental thing. It wasn't like it was a plan I had. It just I kind of watched a game and got sick of what I was watching, and it's like, man, this is messed up. And then I keep, I can't help but watch the MLB Network, and most of the time I watch it, I have to mute it because of what I'm hearing makes me sick to my stomach.
2 words, Brian Kenny.
Brian Kenny
Oh,
and his shredder, and then I see his panel of experts and 2 former big leaguers on the end of the set, and we asked the experts who didn't play their opinion before the guys who were studs in the big leagues, and that's
why I like DeRosa on there, man.
I mean, you got
DeRosa's a Jersey guy. When I grew up, I remember there's this kid, Mark DeRosa, in Jersey. It was like everybody's like, this kid's, thank God I never fucking played against him because I heard he was a fucking nightmare to play against. But I love seeing him out there, and he's like, he just looks so fed up with it too.
They all are.
So that's why we're here, to try and
yeah, I mean, you got Billy Ripken.
Goddamn from itself.
Billy Ripken's old school, DeRosa's old school, Harold's old school, Plesac's old school, Cliff Floyd, Sean Casey, and then you got Ryder, right? And so you have a panel of 4 people, and you have Plesac with 19 years in the big leagues, and Al Leiter with probably 15.
Yeah.
And Brian Kenny's going to ask the person right here in the middle who never played, what do you think, before you ask these guys?
Yeah.
That's what's wrong.
Yeah, that is what's wrong. But then again, it's weird because now one of the things that seems like it's really, really happening is those are the fans that are really sticking up for and look, I believe there's a place for analytics. I've spoken to plenty of front office guys and plenty of managers and plenty of players that, analytics has their place, but it's a tool. Somebody told me, somebody gave me a line the other day, which I thought was great. Stats are like bikinis. They show a lot, but not everything. And, and that's so true. I mean, it's not a numbers game. It's not something that's played on a spreadsheet. It's not a video game. People don't realize that players have this beating heart and they're human beings. And you know what? Maybe somebody's fucking mental one day because some shit happened in their life. You know what? Yeah, he might go 0 for 4. But that doesn't, these people don't account for it. And Brian Kenny is the worst. So again, you think players are speaking out, and I agree with you, and I think they're fed up with it. What's next? What's next for baseball? Like, what do we do? What do we do to get kids involved? Because kids are being turned off, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just have to stay the course right now. I think, one of the things about stats is stats are what already happened.
Yeah.
You don't get stats without a human being performing an act.
Thank you.
Beforehand. Okay, so, and I think the biggest part of the problem that is never talked about is that all of a sudden gambling is part of baseball and all sports. And so now let's predict what's going to happen. And that way we can better set our lineup and do these things because we'll base it all off of what has already happened by these guys and predict based on what they've already done, what's going to happen in the future. So we can now bet and figure this out, before it actually happens. Well, you know what?
That's a great point.
You don't know what's going to happen because they're human beings, and it doesn't matter if they went 0 for 4 yesterday and looked like shit. tomorrow they could go 4 for 4 for no reason.
Exactly.
It's because they're humans, and you can't predict what human beings are going to do. And I think that's a huge part of what's going on in this.
I could not agree with you more. And I think it's really interesting that you brought up Vegas, because that is a huge thing now. I mean, it's the same thing you're seeing in the NFL. I mean, like, why do you think all these reviews and, like, you know, if you watch a football game and it's like, okay, here's a millisecond that a ball got off of a guy's fingertips. Is it a call? Is it a catch? Is it not a catch? It's Vegas. It's Vegas that's running this. And do you think that's something that is really getting in the way of Major League Baseball? I mean, is Vegas a detriment to professional sports?
I think gambling as a whole is a detriment to professional sports.
I agree with you.
I mean, MGM just invested $100 million with Major League Baseball.
I know.
Why? So one of our greatest hitters in the history of our sport can't be in the Hall of Fame because he gambled.
Yeah.
But let MGM give Major League Baseball $100 million.
Absolutely. Talk about hypocrisy. Exactly. I mean, you're talking about quite possibly the best pure hitter in the history of the game that is not allowed in the Hall of Fame or even around baseball. Granted, you know, I met him in Vegas because he's just signing baseballs or whatever, but that's neither here nor there. But I mean, and now gambling is prevalent in baseball. So it's just another Manfred bit of hypocrisy, if you ask me.
It's all about the money. We know that.
At the end of the day, you always have to you just chase the money. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I mean, especially now when you look at around baseball, now we have Vegas investing or hotels investing in Major League Baseball. We have all the TV revenue in baseball, and yet all these teams are losing money.
Yeah,
somehow. You know, so we're gonna have to lower salaries because we can't afford it because we don't have any fans in the stands. And you know, last time I checked, they still got all their TV revenue.
That's where exactly. And now here's the thing. I mean, like, you know, and again, I'm a Yankees fan, so the Yankees crying poverty is one of the biggest jokes in the world to me right now. This team is valued at about $6 billion with a B dollars. They just signed DJ LeMahieu for what, 6 years, 15 per. Really? And nobody else could beat that? I mean, like, are you trying to tell me that these TV deals and everything, these teams are not broke, Jeff?
No, they won't open their books up. That's why there's always a disconnect between the union and the players.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, I mean, if you say you're losing money, we believe you. Just show us. Well, we can't show you, but trust us. Trust us. We are losing money.
We're broke, guys. Yeah, you know, hot dogs are now $14.
Yeah, and that's been like one of the biggest things for years in the gap between the players and the owners. Okay, it's like you're not going to pay revenue sharing and all this extra money you're getting and put it into your team to help your team, you know, be more competitive. Okay, you're not going to do that, and so you're going to have a terrible record and do terrible every year. But in 10 years, the value of your franchise is going to double and triple, and then you're going to sell it for $1.5 billion when you bought it for $500 million, and you're going to cry poverty during those 10 years.
I agree with you, and I think the players are getting screwed because of it. I mean, I think this poor free agent class is really getting the shaft. You know, I mean, a guy like Michael Brantley doesn't have a contract now. A guy like Nelson Cruz doesn't have a contract now.
Miraculously, his spin rate jumped 400.
Yeah, I wonder why. He's not using a bullfrog and rosin, is he? What? Yeah, I don't know nothing.
Let's ask Bubba in Anaheim. Oh, he's not there.
We'll ask Bubba. I love Bubba. He's,
Bubba's a great dude.
Mike Port loved Bubba, but
we all love Bubba. We all love Bubba.
Apparently, Bubba was a good dude. I mean, have you been in that clubhouse and you hung out with Bubba? I heard he was.
I spent a lot of time around Bubba. He used to. There was like a cool little sports bar right outside the parking lot.
Oh yeah. I know that place.
A bunch of us players would go to after the game, and so if you hung out after a while and missed the bus, it's just a little bit too far to walk that you didn't want to walk. And you're just like, hey, Bubba, will you give me a ride? And he'd like hop in his golf cart or whatever and take you over there. So I spent a lot of time around Bubba. He was a good dude, man.
So I hear. I mean, I had one Angels fan like losing his mind at me today. He's like, "Oh, this is clickbait. You're defending a cheater." I'm like, dude, not really. I was, your ex-GM says he's, great guy, great clubhouse guy. I've never heard anything bad about him. So I do want to ask you a little bit about that. What do you think? I mean, is that a big deal? These guys using, which I apparently have found out it's literally bullfrog rosin. But are you upset about that? Because as a hitter with these guys with no fucking control these days, I don't know where the pitch is going, man.
To me, okay, that part of it is bullshit.
What part?
I've heard this said before. Whoa, do you want me to be throwing 100 miles an hour with no control?
That's what they say.
No, that's what they say. You know why? Because that's bullshit. Okay, because if you threw 100 miles an hour and you had no command, you wouldn't be in the major leagues.
Exactly. Thank you.
That's your golden parachute. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, well, I mean, I wouldn't use this sticky stuff to give myself a better command or better control of the ball if I didn't have to, but I'm doing it for your safety. Come on, give me a break.
That's a horseshit excuse.
Okay. So your slider and your curveball break sharper and harder now, and that's helping me?
Exactly.
At least I feel safe that I won't get hit. I mean, that's a bunch. And my whole deal with it is they did this stuff long time ago. A bunch of my teammates had their own little pine tar rags in their jacket pockets.
Yep.
So, they could get a grip on the ball. I understand sometimes the balls are slick or it's cold or whatever. I understand all that stuff. Okay. And I don't really have a problem with it. Okay. Just don't get caught.
Don't be Michael Pineda and put it on your neck.
Yeah. If you're not smart enough.
Yes, and then wonder why you get freaking tossed from the game.
If you're not smart enough to do it and not let people know, that's your fault.
Exactly.
I played with the guys before. I'll tell you, I played with a guy. I'm not going to name his name. Ground ball to me. He was pitching for our team. I caught it and I threw it to first base and it went like and almost threw it away and it went back to the dugout.
You don't have to name him, but Scuffer Pine Tar.
Yeah, I thought that was a good throw. And I get back to the dugout and he goes, hey, make sure when I'm on the mound, you get a good grip on the ball before you throw it. I'm like, all right.
You never knew you had a slur, bro.
No, I mean, I don't know. Just like cutting the ball.
Slur.
But it's like tool. That's tradecraft to me. Okay. And if you're not smart enough to get away with it,
thank you.
You get caught, then hey, man, you got to get it.
Well, again, I mean, like I said, I mean, I bring up Gaylord Perry. I mean, like, look at him. I mean, that guy did everything short of get cavity searched on the mound.
He was genius.
And
that's what's so
he
awesome
would do it without doctoring the ball, just to freak fucking hitters out.
Yeah, just like all this stuff, it just totally messed with their head. That's what's
the
beauty of it, man. So I have no problem.
Yeah, and even when he didn't doctor the ball, he was doing it. I mean, that's some next level shit.
It is. And I mean, that was how many years ago? 30, 40 years ago when he was in his career?
I was a little kid and I caught him at the end of his career. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. And, well, I want to say, Jeff Frye, thank you for joining us. And we could go on all day, but I'm going to run out of time. So.
No worries, man.
Man, thank you. Anytime you want to come do this, by all means. And by all means, parents, listen to Jeff Frye because he is looking out for your kids. And he's looking out for you. And he wants the best for your kids and for the game of baseball. Don't listen to these scumbags that are ripping you off with hula hoops and PVC and all that crap. Listen to Jeff Frye, the Shiga movement, baby. Talk to me, baby. Go ahead. Say something to our breed. Come on.
Oh, you know I got to say, Shigo.
There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Tuesdays with Leroy with our good buddy, Jeff Frye. Thank you. Join us again next week. We'll see you.